Today we're going to make a journal out of a chewy granola bar box. So first we need to cut up the box to size. Trim away all the rough edges and make sure you keep one section on the side for the spine. front and back cover are the same size, you cut the spine of your journal. I like to keep mine about the size of the side of this box because you can get about 3 signatures for this width, which is about 2 inches, I want to say. So next we are going to lay out our front, our spine, and our back cover. You'll need some washi tape or some duct tape or masking tape for this part. You want to leave a little space in between all 3 pieces to give your journal room to open and close. And we will cover up that space when we put the cover, or the cardstock, on our outside and the inside of our journal. I am cutting 4 strips about the length of the journal, because we're going to flip, we can flip it around on the other side. And then on the other side, I cut it just a little bit short, to save my washi tape, because you don't need to flip it over the top at that point. But to flip it from the front to the back, you need a little extra security there. So I make it a little longer so I can just flip it over the edge. Then I'll flip it over, and then I'll put the washi tape on the other side. Next step is to cover our journal. So either cardstock, this is 12 by 12 cardstock paper pad that I had. It's going to take approximately 3 sheets to cover the front and the back. I am going to cover up the spine with a second set, but I'm basically going to cut this sheet in half and cover the outside, and then we'll use a different sheet on the inside. And as you can see, it wasn't quite half, but you need to cut the sheet into 2 pieces because 12 by 12 is not quite big enough to completely cover from edge to edge on this box. So if you cover like the right half and then you cover the left half, we can go over the middle with a second piece. And right here, just like when you wrap a gift, you don't want a big tail on the bottom or the top to fold over. So I'm kind of gauging how much I need to cut off so I don't have such a big tail piece to wrap this package in, if you will. piece, I'm trying to gauge how much of it I will actually need, and I think half of a piece will work. So I'm folding it in half and then I'll cut it. And then you want the top and the bottom to be the same size as the other two pieces because it will be easier to glue if they're about the same size. Next, I'm thinking about how the paper's going to bend on that spine. So I'm kind of determining, making a mark where I think it will bend, and then I'm going to get out my score board and kind of score it to where it will already be pre-bent. That way it will glue easier and stay down. we're going to kind of miter the corners. That's where you cut out a little bit in the corner so we can fold and glue the outside cover to the journal. And you can see at the spine, it is kind of hard to shut it and bend it right there. So I'm going to kind of miter the corners right there at the spine as well. But you don't cut it all the way to the edge. Just very small cuts. So next we are going to glue all of these edges down, and I use clips to hold things in place for a few minutes until the glue dries. And during that point, while it's drying, I will do the measuring for the inside. cardstock for the spine. So you measure the height and the width of the spine, because you can leave some of that tape, your washi tape or your gray tape or your masking tape. Some of that will be still exposed on the journal. But once the signatures go in, you won't really see any cardboard. And as you're measuring pieces for the inside, this is when you want to think about the type of closure you want for your journal as well. As you're going to see here in a few minutes, I am choosing to use sari silk or sari ribbon. You can punch a hole in the cover and do an elastic closure type of thing if you so choose, but because I'm choosing the ribbon type closure, I want it to go under my inside cover. And here I'm just measuring the back, the inside cover, the size paper that I need. I believe it was 5 inches wide by 7.5 long. So I'm measuring both of my card stocks to be that size. And once I have my ribbon down for my closure, that's when I am gluing on the backing to the inside cover now. And this is another extra layer to keep your closure in place. And here you can see we have the shell of our journal done. It's covered on the outside and inside, and we have our closure. So catch part 2 when we will work on the signatures. And the signatures are just the pages that go inside your journal.